Wow.
There is a lot of fake ass in this boxing. I mean, so many pretend, especially on Instagram. You see people, they want to look good. Oh, we give gift for Christmas for the kid. Some people didn't even reach me out for my kid, like. And we know that I cannot work right now, and being in America, not being able to work, and not having help, it's a lot. But whatever, like there is a lot of fake ass people, and it is what it is.
He's wearing a T-shirt that says "Never Made."
I believe him. I think he's telling the truth.
Guys, welcome back to Never Made Weight. I'm your host, Sped. Today we've got somebody who's Instagram famous nowadays. You've for sure seen her on your algorithm if you have the same kind of algorithm that I do. Leslie Parker, cyclonebulldozer. Leslie, how are you today?
Hey, hi, I'm doing good. Thank you.
It's great to have you on. I can't tell you how many times I've seen your reels. So whoever doesn't recognize her, I always see Leslie's reels holding the pads for her son. It's always boxing training. Leslie, how did you get to this moment in your life where you're a boxer mom holding the pads for your son? How old is your son?
6.
He has good hands for a 6-year-old. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
How did you get to this point?
Well, the thing it was actually it was for Father's Day. I'm a single mom, so he's always with me, and I don't know. I'm I like to play fight with him, and we started to go, and he was doing. He's very funny. My son is more an entertainer than a boxer, but I know he got some skills, so it's starting to be like a fun, playing fun. And then I was like, I'm gonna do something with it, I'm gonna shape it the way I want. And so, from being a little bit chaos, a little bit like messy, I was like, oh, I'm gonna teach him life and discipline through those sessions, even though it's gonna be fun. But I added some life skills, life, and this discipline truly helped. And now he's the one asking me, hey, can we do this combo? I like to do this, and we can see, that consistency and very being on discipline truly helps, and also the bond that I have with him kind of reinforced with through the boxing.
He's a very strong kid for a 6-year-old. I can tell he has hands. Where does that come from? Obviously, you're his mom, you're a boxer. Did you have any other boxers in your family?
No, my mom. we are the we are the crazy in the family.
Your mom was a boxer?
My mom could fight. It's thought she was a boxer.
So Leslie, where are you from?
So I'm French actually. I'm French with Algerian and Italian roots.
Okay, and you live in Miami right now. How long you been living in Miami?
6 months now.
And where are you from? Like, were you born here in the States?
No, I was born in France, and I moved. Actually, I was in LA for 10 years,
Oh, okay.
and I moved out here in Florida, like, yeah, 6 months ago.
I live in LA right now. I love LA. I mean, I love Miami too. I've been to Miami. Leslie, when did boxing start for you?
So it started uh, it started a long time ago, like let's say maybe more than 15 years ago, where I wanted to learn boxing, kickboxing. I'm a fitness trainer for years. I'm an old school fitness trainer, and I was teaching classes with the music. I mean, I'm old school, and I wanted to incorporate boxing and kicks and knees, elbow, any martial arts, actually. And but I was always busy with my gym. I have my own gym in France. So I started to discover a little bit this. But then I really got into boxing, let's say maybe, I don't know, 7 years ago when I was in LA. I had to work at Mayweather gym, when they opened this
Of course.
franchise. And I was
Yeah.
like, I really need to know what I'm talking about if I have to work for Mayweather. And I
Yeah.
like, when I do something, I like to do it good. I like to know exactly what I'm talking about on it,
Yeah.
And yeah, so I really started to be into boxing at this time. And when I love something, I go crazy, I'm nonstop. And I get to meet different people and learn, from different trainers.
So you went from fitness training into boxing because you got a job at the Mayweather gym. That's how you
Yeah,
got into boxing?
yeah, and also I had a friend in France. He was into boxing, and I remember we kind of had a fight, like, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be so good in boxing. One day, I'm gonna beat you up. It was, like a stupid thing you can say, and it's funny because this person, this friend, is still in France, and he saw how I getting better and better, and I had a training with him when I was back to France, but he's still better than me, but. He respects my work. He respects me and my work.
You recently had a situation. We were gonna do this interview 3 weeks ago, but you had a situation out of nowhere. I see you're in the hospital. What happened there?
Well, it was a very bad, a terrible. It was like a month ago now. I was sparring with a guy where he was only supposed to work on his defense, and for some reason he's starting to hit back, and I was not ready that he hit back, but we were going back and forth, and until he really hit me hard on my abdomen. And I didn't have the protection because I only wear my headgear and my mouth guard, and he was not supposed to hit back. And he literally like punched so bad that I had like a leak in my intestine, and I had an internal bleeding. So it was a life-threatening situation. They had to open me from like here to here. I mean, pretty bad surgery. Very tough time. Now my life is completely upside down, to be honest. I'm a fighter, so I'm gonna fight through it. But this should never happen. Never, never, never happen.
Was this spoken about before you guys got to sparring? Like,
Yeah,
was
because his coach himself said work only on your defense. And he asked me, do you want to work? And I worked with this guy two times before, and it was okay. And this time, I don't know what happened. I don't know what was in his mind. I don't know what has been said. And anyway, there is an open case right now, so we're gonna know in the future what was going on exactly. But I just can say that he has attitude, and I don't know if he has a problem with women or with his own ego or something. But those type of people shouldn't be allowed in the ring. Like when you step into the ring, it's respect. You check the gloves and you respect the rules. And for me, he just didn't respect the rules. So you don't do that. There is stuff we do, there is stuff we don't do, and I'm very strict about that. So I mean, I have lawyers involved and stuff right now because it's not okay. And even though people are gonna say, yeah, but a woman doesn't, is not supposed to spar or fight a guy. It was, first of all, it was not a fight, it was a training. And in like all those time I do boxing, I never had any problems with nobody. Like especially not with men training. Everybody was respectful, and if sometimes I was with someone who hit me hard, like I talk about a man, right away he excused, he said, I'm so sorry, sometimes. But this time the guy didn't even apologize. Nothing, not even after, nothing. So
that's
karma gonna take him.
I'm sorry to hear that. When I was a kid, I used to take a taekwondo, and there was a girl in my class that I used to go to high school with too. I mean, middle school at the time, and she was really tough. She was actually one of the toughest ones in the class, and she wanted to go spar with me. And as a kid, like, I mean, now I'm a fan of women's fighting. When I watch a UFC card, I watch the women's fights. I know all the women's female fighters, but back then it was kind of like, okay, no, I'm not gonna fight a girl. I'm not gonna spar a girl. And sure enough, she egged me on so much that we ended up sparring, and it could get a little tricky, you know? It could get tricky because you're like, maybe not with your situation. Your situation seems like there were terms agreed upon, like
Hmm.
I spoke about it. But like for my situation, it could get tricky because you're like, if I hit her too hard, I'm gonna be the bad guy. But anyway, shout out to the girl. Her name was Christina. She was a sick fighter. Leslie, after when you're in the hospital, right? I want to go back. I want to focus on the pain and the injury itself when it happened. Okay, when it
Yeah.
happened, was it the worst pain you've ever felt? What could you compare that pain to? Because you basically essentially ruptured an intestine.
So the thing is, it's important to recognize signs, especially when you're a fighter and you're used to pain and you don't care, fuck the pain, you know. When we have this mindset, it's good, but it can be also very tricky because, well, I'm glad I recognize the sign because we can die about this type of thing, you know. So I started to feel weak, to feel not myself, and to have a lot of pain on my right side. And then what really like alarmed me, it's I starting to throw up, and I had more and more pain, and I couldn't really stand up. I could only focus on my pain. I couldn't even really think. I couldn't really talk, you know. It was like, I'm with my pain, I need to deal with it. And until I decide to go to the hospital, and I don't even know how I drove myself to the hospital. Once I park my car, I fall down. I really fall down. My son was recording. He was like, "Hey, help my mom!" And so people took a wheelchair, put me on the wheelchair, and bring me to the ER. And you know, I was like, what I'm gonna do with my son while I was in pain because I have no family here and stuff. But and so when I said I got hit in the stomach very hard and I have this pain, they took me like in priority in the ER. And then I was, as I said, I was only focusing on this pain, and when you're in pain, when you're in intense pain, you can only focus on that. You know, it's very hard to think. And the doctor did like a scan and blood test and stuff. And when they all came, it was like 7 doctors. They were scared. They looked terrified. And I was like, okay, I need to know the truth. Am I gonna die? You know, I was straight up. I was like, yo, I need to know. And they say, well, and when oh my god, when I start like that, of course they cannot say yes or no because as soon as they
Right.
open, they cannot. You know, it's after it's insurance and stuff on them.
It's a liability to give you hope.
Yeah, yeah. So I even did a goodbye video for my kid because I was like, wow, it's that bad that maybe it's gonna, because it was an internal bleeding, and you never know if it's too much. It's if I needed a transfusion. If you don't know, the thing is, thanks God I woke up, you know, and I had a tube in my throat, in my nose, and linked to my stomach for 1 week. Couldn't eat, couldn't drink, couldn't even swallow, like no, like the chips, like the ice cube, like something. I
Yeah.
couldn't have nothing for 1 week. Crazy. And the thing is, you know, with those this tube, it's called the NG tube something. You, when you swallow, when you talk, it's you know, it moves. And so
Yeah.
after I was stopped talking and even swallowing, I was holding my saliva and then spitting.
Yeah.
Was I couldn't, and it was the pain because I had so much medication for my pain, you know, on my stomach. And then when I saw the scar, like the first time, it looked like a medieval thing. I don't know if you saw like you know, when I had the stitches, I had like more than 30 stitches.
Yeah. I saw the stitch work. That was really, it was a lot.
So it's crazy. All I had to say that as fighters, it's good to die, we tough and this and that, but it's number one, we need to respect each other. We like each other, we hate each other. We need to respect each other. It's a sport. And if you want to fight dirty, go in the street or take a gun and play with your gun. You see what I mean? Like
Yeah.
some people, I mean, I like it. I don't like I mean, boxing is a beautiful sport. It's a smart. It's a game. So it's a dangerous game, but I really want like those people, especially this guy who hit me, who was way younger than me, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on in your mind? Like, I'm don't compete with you, like, and I'm a mom. You see, I'm a mom. Like, I could maybe be his mom, you know. I mean, and I'm like, what the fuck with those people where they want to prove? What do you want to prove? It was not even a fight. Like, yeah,
How
it pissed
young
me
was
off.
he?
Huh?
How young was he?
26.
Oh man.
I'm
Oh,
43, and I'm like, what? Like, I love going hard. But I respect people, you know. And I like to learn. As I said, boxing is a beautiful sport. It's noble art, and nowadays I see more and more bullshit on this sport, and And it's sad, it's sad. And I have this big scar my entire life now.
The important thing is you made it through. Whenever you were going through it, I was just here and there messaging you good words of encouragement. But the way you were responding, I could tell how much pain you're in, because just by judging, like, okay, judging you by your cover, right? Judging a book by your cover. I don't know you, but when I see you on Instagram, you seem like a very tough character. Like, you seem like a strong character. Yeah, you don't seem like somebody who is weak in any way, you know? So whenever you're responding in that way, I'm like, shit, bro, she's in a lot of pain. And to be honest with you, Leslie, this is like the first time I've ever heard of someone's uh intestine rupturing from a body shot in practice.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm telling you. And I'm like, maybe he had something in his glove. Maybe he was 8 ounces gloves, because I didn't even pay attention to that. I don't know. We're going to know when there's going to be an investigation. I don't know. And, yeah, and I remember that video I post when I was like kind of saying I need help, because I was like, fuck. I was like, I couldn't imagine what I was going through. And I know everybody knows me because I'm tough and I always positive and push things and encourage people to give their best, and what I can say, that the help, the support, like all the love, all the strength, and yeah, all the strength I can give to people, like every day through my reels or the way I behave or whatever. I had it, back, and it truly helped, to help me back on my feet, because I was like, fuck, it's so painful. Like, how I'm gonna do it? How I'm gonna do it? And I was in pain, and feeling the support, the love truly help. It's a great medication, honestly.
Who do you get more support from? The fight world, or or like the mothers community?
Honestly, the fight world, I'm gonna say 5%.
Wow.
There is a lot of fake ass in this boxing. I mean, so many pretend, especially on Instagram. You see people, they want to look good. Oh, we give gift for Christmas for the kid. Some people didn't even reach me out for my kid, like. And we know that I cannot work right now, and being in America and not being able to work, and not having help, it's a lot. But whatever, like there is a lot of fake ass people, and it is what it is. I have more people, even people from my country, actually reach me out. People like preschool friends, friends from college, and a lot of people from LA. Not especially in the fighting world, but just people who like to follow me, my journey with my son, my journey, how I handle my life with my kid as a single mom. And so, but the boxing world, I had someone from Vegas like gave me also an interview, let me, express myself and try to help me out. So shout out to him. And thank you also to you, honestly, to reach out. I know it was planned before my surgery. We talked before, but
Yeah.
no, the boxing world is not that like supportive. No, no.
The reels you post get a lot of engagement, get a lot of reach. I see you have a couple that have millions of views and stuff. What what community supports you the most, like when you post those reels? Like, what community is like mostly behind you? Is it like mothers? Is it like family, women?
To be honest, I have a little bit of everybody. I have a lot of people overseas too, and I have some fighters also. But I think I have, yeah, I have a little bit of single, as I said, a little bit of family. Um, I think it's people who went through some hard time, and I give them hope, the way I
Yeah.
do things.
Yeah.
Or um yeah, it's the fighting spirit. I know, as many people say, you inspire me. Or a lot of parents, actually, or single parents,
Yeah.
single dads, single moms. I know some people say, yeah, you help me to think about like doing more stuff with my kids. I
Yeah.
inspire, and I like that, because yeah, when you have a kid, it's your family, it's your everything. So
Yeah.
it's your best friend. And yeah, and it's yeah, a little bit of everybody.
I guess your content is also because you said parents reach out and said you make me want to do more things with my kids. A lot of parents are just parents, right? Like that's what your job is to be. You're a parent. Make sure the kid is good, not necessarily hold pads for the kids, but whenever you get into that closeness of doing something with the kid, holding pads for the kid, or tossing a baseball, kicking a soccer ball. Those kinds of activities are the activities that the kids never forget because you're so close to them. You know, I remember being a kid. We lost my mom. Worked really hard. You know, like you to raise us. We lost my dad early. I have two older brothers. I didn't have my dad since I was 13. My older brothers were already like 17, 18, but I know what it feels like to see a woman really struggle firsthand, you know? And I'm sure that what's your kid's name?
Marlon.
Marlon? I'm sure when Marlon is, my age, he's gonna these things are gonna be core memories for him in his head. What do you want from Marlon in his life?
Well, I want him to find something he's passionate about, because even though we say money is everything, I think when you're passionate, it's more. I don't know. Life is more about being passionate and doing what you're passionate about, and than just thinking about money. So I want him to find what he really, really likes and how he can business it. I,
Yes.
I I don't. If he wants to keep boxing, if he don't, I mean, I don't push him to be a world champion or whatever. I want him to be good. I mean, I want him to know what he's talking about. I don't want him to look stupid when he's gonna say, "Hey, my mom taught me boxing," and he do like stupid shit. I want him to look, he knows what he's talking about. And what I like about him, he recognizes when we do a good job or a good too. I mean, he knows, and he know when he messed up, and I like that. I like that he has these eyes
Yeah.
of like details.
Yes.
Very important, very
Uh,
important. And yeah, and so I know I taught him. I try to, I want to teach him so many things. Sometimes maybe I'm too much because he's only 6. In his
yeah.
little mind, there is many things,
Yeah.
but I know he's gonna, even what he sees, seeing me, with a surgery and how I go back on my feet and I fight and I mean, not fighting physically now, but not being here, saying, "Oh, the world is bad," I move on. So it's
Yeah.
this mindset to keep pushing through over than just boxing and throwing punches.
Yeah.
That fighter mindset, like,
I
I
think
always say, yeah,
I think you display that a lot in the videos with Marlon, the pushing through, because oftentimes he'll get annoyed and be like, "Ah, no, I don't want to. I just want to do it like this," and you say, "No, keep going," and you don't allow him to end it.
yeah,
You always make him see it to the end.
yes.
And I see this in the videos. And just like in life, this is the number one part about life, right? I mean, I'm sure you
Glad you can see it, because
yeah.
sometimes I'm like, oh my God, what I'm get oh my so many times I was like, what I'm gonna do? And I was like, I cannot give up, I was like, I
Push,
cannot give up.
push. See, we all we all went through this with our parents, you know, and then there's the thought in your head of like, hey, like I don't want to do it, so stop pushing me. Stop pushing me. I don't want to do it. But if you just see it to the end and if you keep going, you'll see there's a lesson there in life. It's not about how hard you can hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. And I'm sure you as a mom have taken hard hits and things have happened in life, and what do? You move forward. And to teach your son that.
And I share like what you're saying. I mean, I totally agree with you. And some people, I see in the comment, they like, oh, hit him and he's gonna and he gonna understand. And I try to find the balance. When there is kind of frustration when I teach him,
Yeah.
I had so many comments, but most of them were pretty positive, you know. But when I saw some people, it's like, oh, he needs a dad, or only a dad can do that, or stuff like that, or oh, he needs to be hit for real. I understand. As I said, I try to find balance, and so far I'm doing it. You know, so far I'm doing it. I'm doing it my way. Sometimes you need to use games with the kids to redirect him. If you go straight, like boom, hit him, well, I mean, every kid is different. So for my kid, if I start to hit him, it won't work, you know? And it's not how I want to raise him.
Leslie, that's not the first dumb comment I've ever heard about. If you
Sure, there is many.
there's many. Don't worry about the comments. I think what you're doing is a great thing. Obviously, you know, everyone's gonna have an opinion. He needs this, he needs that. You're not doing this right. You got to do it this way. But it's easy to talk from the sidelines, right? Everyone has
Yeah.
everyone has something to say, and you know that's just part of life. Leslie, um, where do you see yourself in 7 years?
7 years. Listen, I don't even know what I'm gonna do next month. I cannot even answer this question because it's not the way I live. I go day by day. I'm telling you, especially right now in my situation. All I know is I'm gonna be good no matter where I am.
You're gonna be good no matter what. That should be inspiring to everybody. And thank you so much for taking the time actually to do this with us. You know, I don't know if you follow our channel where we release these full ones on YouTube,
Yeah,
and
I
then
saw some of them. Yeah.
we put the short forms on like Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. Is there anything you want to leave us with, Leslie?
Well, thank you for allowing fighters to express themselves. I know when we're fighters, that is something we went through, and we try to fix it through fight. But uh, on my side, I feel like my fight is kind of done. I don't say it bad because I like to inspire people, and it's not only through fight that you fix stuff. So I don't know if you understand, but
Of course.
I really like to inspire people to just keep pushing through, and say that everything we got hit, we come back all the time. And if you want to stay down, like, you're a loser, and that's it, we never do nothing. You have to keep pushing forward. That's it.
I love that message. Guys, follow Leslie. Follow Leslie on Instagram. Cyclone Bulldozer. Cyclone Bulldozer on Instagram. Go like her stuff, repost her stuff, comment, and just support her in general. Leslie, thank you so much for
Thank
doing
you. Thank
Never
you.
Made Weight. Guys, this is your host, Sped. Thank you for tuning in to the largest podcast in the world, Never Made Weight. Have a good one. Until next time.
Wearing a t-shirt that says never made.
I believe him. I think he's telling the truth.